Before, boys and girls, sit tight. This is a best of 3 from here on out. Even the finals included will be a best of 3, not a best of 5. But we'll see who can get there first. Spawning in the top right corner of the map, the blue Terran player from Evil Geniuses, known as Xenocider.
And in the bottom left, in orange, playing for Team Alternate, it is Monty.
Alternate attacks. And I couldn't.
It's alternate, right?
Yeah, I couldn't for the life of me remember which team I was trying to say. I got confused with, but it's the one that you thermals on, because they also have like an AT or something as the clan logo.
Oh,
but,
yeah. Oh.
But this is another advantage where you got that the decal or decal, depending on your pronunciation, above the Nexus, where you're like, oh yeah, hey, guess what? That is alternate attacks.
Oh yeah.
But alright.
Oh, yeah.
Getting into this matchup, guys, first off, to introduce him properly, sorry I skipped over it, I'm joined today by Namshar, Grandmaster Zerg player, really cool guy, and handsome Swedish fella.
Why, thank you.
We've had a lot of interesting, I'll say that, to describe Xenocider's TVP series, not just today, but I mean also on Monday. We got to see him struggle against a lot of it too, and let's be honest, a lot of what's happening with Xenocider's, I think, shortcomings are not that Protoss is overpowered, but he makes weird choices.
Yeah, I mean, he's got some really, like, I guess you could say, he's got some really cool strategies, but I'm not sure how, like, consistent the builds he's doing are. Like, this kind of drop play he's going, it's, you know, there's a lot of risk going into that. You have to do damage, or you're going to be behind, and if you're fighting from behind, you know, it's always going to be hard, no matter what race you're playing. And he's opened gas this game as well, so we'll have to see if he's going to go back to the same thing. I didn't see if he opened gas before Barracks. Did you catch that?
No, sorry.
He's mined 100 gas though, so that should definitely be gas before Barracks. Otherwise he wouldn't have mined that much. So it might just be the same build again, where he goes like drop, makes a bunker on the low ground,
yep, just a
drops
fast
it with a mine in the main.
You know, one thing I'm actually a little curious about though, we talked a little bit earlier today about how some players like Frauds, for example, are easily figured out because they do the same thing every game. I don't know if Xenocider's guilty of that, but we look at the ways they start off. He called him by his first name. Now, whether they're friends or whether that's an informality or whatever out of Monty, the point is, like, he knows Xenocider well enough to know his first name. Chances are he probably knows a couple of strategies out of him, too.
Right. Yeah, that could be. But if not, then, you know, you could argue that Xenocider has been hiding match history or build order every game, I think. So,
well, that's
if they
more
don't know each other that well, then he might still catch Monty off guard.
That's more of a standard practice, though. I mean, if we're gonna be honest, like I get what you're saying. Where like it's not easy for someone to look at Xenocider and see what he's been building and see what he's been doing all day. But the realistic thing is, it's gonna come down a lot to scouting, and if not scouting, really good guessing. And that sounds silly to say, but a lot of the times is again like there's not that many openings a lot of Terran players can diverge from. You're kind of limited to like 3 in TVP. Yeah, so dropping like this is not something that you would like. This isn't like a crazy strategy like proxy battle cruisers by any means. It's expected. It's one of the 3. The question is like how likely is it?
Yeah, indeed. I agree. You know, like worth mentioning here, Monty did scout. He did scout gas. He did scout factory.
He scouted the factory. That's the key thing.
So he's basically gonna know, because of what you said, there aren't that many openers the Terran playing can do versus Protoss. So he's basically gonna see that factory and is gonna be like, oh, well, I better prepare for Widowmine drop.
Oh, wait, is he gonna go 6 Marines and 3 Hellions? This is like a Wings of Liberty build is what this is. So, way back once upon a time, you would do this all the time because there was no threat of oracles. But if you do this build and your opponent comes at you with oracles, you're kind of screwed is the problem. Which is why it fell out of fashion a lot. I mean, the Widowmine's been made, but the trick for this build was like you drop the Marines in the main, you constantly harass, and you run the Hellions up for the natural.
But didn't he do this last time as well versus that other guy?
Hang on. Monty's put a pylon up here already, but it doesn't have... I mean, he's got a couple gateways, but this isn't like...
It might just be a minor cell run by later, maybe. I'm sure.
That's what I'm thinking, because there's no 7 gates out. He went for the Robo, so... I mean, he's going to have detection for the Widowmine, which will be really nice, but...
Oh, Monty pulling the probe into the main, I like that. Nice move. But here comes the bunker, and the drop.
Xenocider! Xenocider!
It's what he does, man. He seems to be fond of his strat. He gets this pylon. That's a pretty nice pickup, actually. It's not going to supply the block, actually, but it's a nice pickup.
It limits warp-in potential. I mean, the reinforcements will have to come all the way from the back of the base instead of the front.
Yeah, and there is the overcharge. And this time he didn't lose any Marines.
Oh, but counterattack. Counterattack.
Oh, Stalkers, actually. Wow.
There's nothing to defend.
Xenocider. Really nice move. Oh, he has the third gateway on the top of his base. I didn't see that third gateway. So it's actually... It's not 2 gateways, it's 3. And a robo for the observer. is a really nice move.
Well, a couple SCVs are pulled, but there's no firepower behind this. Siege tank is on the way. Hellions come back home to try and add a little bit more into this, but these stalkers are just gonna keep running away.
Well, I mean, you gotta say though, like he's got no warp in his like at home now, and
yeah,
he's
not
gonna
lose the Nexus.
Immortal. Yeah, if he loses this Nexus, you know, even if he kills some SCVs now, that might not be worth it. That's a pretty expensive Nexus. Although
there's
even
no
more
blink.
stalkers worked in.
If he can get the siege tank to his mineral line safely and siege that up, he may be good. But he decides to pull all the SCVs, realizing he wants to keep that command center alive. Siege tank is about to pop. If he gets these down the ramp, then he can siege this on the top. But he's losing so many workers for this. Meanwhile, he's moving in for the kill. Goes for the mothership core or soccer.
Nice. Yeah, there's only one soccer at home. This tank is going to be so important in holding. But yeah, a lot of SCVs going down.
Stalker
it's going to
falls.
come down to
tank not sieged. Xenocider's lost all of his SCVs at this point. Siege the tank, man. Siege the tank, man. Actually,
he's lost way too much though. Xenocider.
1v1, a siege tank's actually better, like unsieged, I guess, but it's no longer 1v1. He's got some cells coming up the ramp. Bunker is gonna try and hold. He's gonna kite with the tank a little bit.
He's looking really grim. He's got 6 workers, man. 6 SCVs.
Yeah, I almost think it'd be better for him to salvage the bunker that's across the map. Keep this tank alive though, Xenocider. Oh my god.
He has to keep it
oh
alive.
my god, he's cutting it for the zealot. He's trying so hard.
No.
Does 2.25?
Oh my god, wow.
Wow, as it dies, he kills it with it.
And he cancels the expansion as well, because he realizes he needs the money to make workers.
And that's the worst part about this. His opponent might not have an expansion, but neither does he. Down to 8 workers, he knows that are looking really bad in this first game. I mean, it was a cool hold and desperate moves and a really aggressive attack, but, you know, Monty's choice to put 3 stalkers across the map just straight up won the game for him.
Yeah, that was such a nice move, though. Like, I've not seen that as a response before, because he knew this attack would be coming, he knew he would have photon overcharge, and he knew there wouldn't be much of anything at home for Xenocider, because he wouldn't have any Widow Mines at home, and that Reactor Barracks is only going to do so much versus 3 Stalkers.
I like the SCVs that were brought forward to repair.
Yeah, that's nice. And the supplies are actually equalizing a little bit.
But it's still at 9 workers.
Yeah, it's... I mean, he's got some army, but yeah, he's got no workers. He's got 9. And a lot of the workers are with his push.
Might get the mothership core this.
Ooh, wow,
I mean, if it comes down to a base trade, Xenocider can always lift, but I don't know if that'll be enough.
Draw. Okay, that's 3 stalkers at home.
I still don't love that. Like, he could have salvaged the bunker across the map instead of canceling his expansion. If Xenocider had that second command center, I would say he would still be in this game after the way that first fight went. But last couple units bleeding out across the map.
Yeah. If Monty holds at home now, this is gonna be over. But
it's not even if. Like, Monty should be able to hold. Well, actually, he held the phone. Both players completely out of workers now, pretty much.
He's got 3 workers, Monty. He's spreading the workers across the map now.
Xeno lift! Xeno lift!
I mean, there's no money for Nexus. If he can deal with those stalkers, it's gonna be a draw. Oh my god.
Well, hang on. 6 stalkers. 6 stalkers are gonna be able to take on what Xenocider has, I feel. It's 3 Marines in a tank that's half dead. 6 stalkers should be able to burn it down.
He gathers it up. But, I mean, even if he does, if the Nexus falls before that...
I love the way he's using the medevac, though, to get the tank up a little bit quicker, a little range.
Unfortunately, it didn't break through the shield. No. I mean, basically, it's gonna come down to if the Nexus stays alive or not. Like, he can sack his units to get the Nexus. If he does, it's a draw.
Yeah, but
if he doesn't,
he's gonna have to do some really sick micro. This is like straight out of StarCraft 2, like Master, where you gotta practice all that micro for the different objectives. But
that's a lot of StarCraft.
Oh, tank us down. That's it. That's game right there, guys. So that looked a little bit close. Like maybe Xenocider could have brought that back, but.
Yeah, that was a quick game 1.
Is he gonna? He's really gonna try and land and recover from this. I guess technically he could. I mean, 4 probes, 5 probes versus 2 mules. Yeah. I mean, and he's got 300 minerals in the bank. He's already making more Marines. I don't know why he's doing them on the high ground though, because he can't get them away from the cliff. He's got no medevac.
Yeah, I mean, Monty, if he discounts it with the Observer, he's just gonna be able to break through the rocks with the Stalkers. So Monty will win this eventually, because look at where the Observer is going. He's gonna find this command center, and if he finds that,
that's game.
And look at the top as well. There's another Observer looking at the barracks making Marines.
Why is he making Marines though? He doesn't have the money to build a medevac. He doesn't have the gas to build a medevac. Like, they're stuck behind the rocks.
That's funny. Well, he could kill the rocks, I guess.
Well, the rocks are slowly dying over here. SCVs are tirelessly trying to mine with these mules. I mean, he's gonna have money, that's for sure. But Marines don't have stim. They don't have combat shields. There's no gas for anything. There's one Widow Mine coming across the map, but there's observers already. I applaud Xenocider for his how should we phrase this? His determination.
Yeah. Yeah, there's 11 workers for the Protoss player now, and yeah, 3 observers and 6 stalkers. So yeah, it's pretty much game over. But Xenocider gonna give it all he's got. He's gonna lift up the CC again. Try to do something with 4, soon to be 5 Marines. You could make a few.
I like that move trying to sneak the SCV out. That was kind of cute.
Ooh, look, Widow Mine going through the mineral line.
Put the observers there.
Oh, it's gonna die.
GG. Alright, Monty will take game number 1, ladies and gentlemen, in this best of 3.
That was a quick one. I mean, that's pretty interesting. Like, I haven't thought about the possibility of that you can do that with that proxy pylon. Like, he expanded, he took 2 gases, like, he took a second gas reactionary, like at 19 supply after scouting the factory. And then with that gas, he got a robo, then he just made 2 gates, made a proxy pylon, and when he was being attacked, he just made 3 stalkers and did a lot of damage.
Oh, weird game is weird. We're gonna hop into game number 2 in a second, guys.